Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Kyle Contreras. I am your son or daughter's math teacher for this semester. So this video is going to be specific for IM3CP, which would be my first period and my second period classes during this fall semester. So I wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of what class runs like, expectations, show you where you can find information about the course through your son or daughter's Google Classroom page, and then also give you a little bit of contact information for me, tell you a little bit about myself. So number one, I have been teaching at CCA for 5 years now. This is my fifth year at CCA, my sixth year in the district. My first year in the district, I taught for a year at SDA. Previous to that, I taught for 10 years in the Midwest. So this is in total my 16th year of teaching. IM3CP is actually a class that I've taught every single year that I have taught at CCA. With our unique schedule, this is about the seventh or eighth time that I've gone through this particular course. So I feel like I know the course very, very well, and that Miss Fisher and I, the other teacher that's teaching it this semester, have really formulated a really good course for your kid. So what I want to do is talk a little bit about how class runs on a daily basis. So the first thing about our class is that we meet on Google Meets, which is this video chat that I'm showing you right now. We meet for the first 15 to 20 minutes of class on a daily basis, and we usually use this time to clarify and let your son or daughter ask questions about the previous day's content. So I record video lessons for them to watch as a part of our class, and since they can't ask me live questions while I'm teaching the course, since it's a pre-recorded video, I like to give them a chance to ask me questions, follow-up. So is there something that I explained in the video that didn't quite make sense? Or is there something that you'd like me to clarify or explain further? The other thing we use our class time for is homework questions. So on a daily basis, after they have their video lesson that they've watched and then taken notes on, I assign them a homework assignment that's not super long. It's usually, if you were to print it on paper, it'd usually be either one page front and back, or it'd be 2 pages if you printed them single-sided. So nothing super long. We've kind of moved beyond the days of giving kids 50 homework questions. It's usually under 20. A lot of times it's under 15. So we like to give them questions and the amount of homework that really solidifies concepts versus giving them a bunch of just rote problems that is just like drill and kill is what I usually call it. So that's what we usually do for the first part of class. So I want to show you is kind of how I answer their questions. So on Google Meets, I can present my screen from my iPad. And what that allows me to do is it allows my voice to voice over the explanation of me actually writing things on my iPad. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So this actually happens to be my IM3 honors material, which is the same idea. It's still a module-based structure. So this is already filled out because I made a video over this, but it started out blank. And what I would do is have this kids watch a video. They can range between 10 minutes and 20 minutes. I usually try to break them into smaller pieces so that they are, 10 to 12 minutes each. And then each class usually has 2 videos. So I like to break it apart so that it doesn't seem overwhelming when they start watching the video. So as I fill out these notes, you overhear my voice, and then I explain what exactly it is that I'm writing down. After they've had a chance to ask me questions about anything from those videos, I pull up the homework assignments, which we call RSGs, Ready, Set, Goes. And these I don't do videos for, so I provide written out and worked out answer keys. Since I'm not providing a video with a voice explanation of what I wrote down, these are usually where most of the questions come from, because it may not be clear, for example, on a problem like number 8, why did I make a table with 1 and 2 as X values instead of making a table with 5 and 6? So sometimes questions like that pop up. It's not clear to some students why I picked or did the work that I wrote down. And so I like to give them a chance to ask for the explanation, which I then go through. Sometimes I erase the work that's there and just rework the entire problem. Sometimes I just explain what's already written on the paper. After we get done with homework time, I let them go And usually they get the last 40 minutes or so of class to start watching the next video lesson for the day and then taking notes. So the way I structure class is about the way I would structure class if we were in person for school. I would spend the first portion of class answering any questions from the previous day's material, and then I would move on to teaching live, obviously, the new lesson. However, I'm doing pre-recorded lessons right now because of a few things. Number one, technical glitches happen, and I would rather a student not miss out on information that I was teaching because of some technical glitch. Their Google Meets happened to kick them out for 30 seconds, and they missed a really important thing that I said, or maybe bit late and misses something really important that I said. Or if I'm only teaching live lessons, a student that might have a doctor's appointment might actually miss our live class sessions. And if I don't have a recording of the lesson that I did, then they actually full miss out on the lesson. Since it's pre-recorded, the kids can kind of pick and choose when they use or watch the videos. Again, I like to give them that portion of class to watch the videos because it feels more like a structured class setting in that regard. And I like to make sure that there is time carved out of the schedule for them to actually use and then watch videos. After that, then they would be assigned normal homework, just like I would have assigned them leaving class at the end of our regular class periods. So one of the other things I wanted to show you is our Google Classroom. And let me pull up one of my CP classes. So Google Classroom looks a little different on my side, but you get kind of the same general gist. So I post things day by day. I always date things with the day of the week and then the actual calendar date. So for whatever reason a student misses class, they can always find the day they missed, and it gives them the exact material that they missed that day. I also organize everything under my class tabs. So everything is in a very logical, very structured order. If for whatever reason your student missed today, Tuesday, September 8th, they could click on the post there. And what it would show you under the instructions, it would show you the notes for the day, it would show you the homework for the day, and it would also show you the homework answer key. Notice underneath, it also has video links. So if I were to click on one of those links, I'm going to let one of these play for a minute so you can kind of see what they see when they're watching the videos that are pre-recorded. Now, normally, clicking on one of those links would pull up a web page. In fact, for most of your kids, it's going to pull up a web page. Mine pulled up an app because I have this specific app, Loom, on my iPad. So anytime I click a link, it's going to pull up the app versus pulling up the website. If your son or daughter wanted to download the Loom app instead of just relying on a web browser, it's a free app, so they could always do this too. But the idea, the general gist or idea is that as I write on this, you're going to hear my voice. So I'm going to let it play for a second. Negative would do to the pattern. If there's a different A value in the front, like in this one, there's a 2, the number of spaces you go up is then multiplied by that value. So in this case, for J of X, if we were to So you kind of get the idea that if I was standing in front of them in class and writing on a whiteboard, they would hear my voice along with seeing what I'm physically writing on the board. This is kind of the same idea. They can't physically see me, but they can see what I'm writing on my iPad, and they can also hear the overlay of my voice. I think it gives the best option for making it as normal, I guess you could say, as possible as to what they would have seen if I was teaching a lesson in class. Let's see, what else on Google Classroom? So on Google Classroom, not only can you find all of that information day by day, you can also find class schedule. So if your kid is ever curious, when will I have my next quiz? Or where is my class syllabus? Because I don't remember this particular expectation. So number one, let's pull up the class syllabus. One of the reasons that I really like doing pre-recorded lessons is because if there's something a student misses or needs to hear again, they don't need to ask me to repeat myself. All they have to do is rewind the video or pause the video. if they're behind and need to catch up. So I'll say the same thing to you. If there's something on this that you want to make sure that you've read through very clearly and very thoroughly, pause the video, take as long as you need to read through it, and then you can play the video and move on to the next portion. Probably the most important piece to this is my contact information. My email address is there, hyperlinked. Feel free to reach out and ask any questions if there's something in this syllabus that needs clarification. So one of the things I want to point out here is our weekly schedule. So our normal schedule will be that we will do lessons Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday each week. Thursday will be a quote unquote review day. And then Friday, they'll have a quiz every week. So every single Friday for this entire first quarter, they can plan on having a quiz. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday will always be new lessons and material and homework. Thursday will always be a review day. The review days we're going to spend doing practice quizzes. And the reason why I like to do this is because it gives them a really good idea of what they think they know versus what they actually know. And I have them use these practice quizzes as legitimate quizzes because I count them as they only get credit if it's right or wrong. Now you might ask, well, how is that different from a regular quiz? Regular quizzes, they don't get to do corrections on. So when they take their quiz on Friday, that is then telling me on Friday, I know how to do this set amount of material. If they don't know how to do that set amount of material, then they're docked points for that. Thursday's practice quiz, I allow them to do corrections on. So anything they get wrong, they're allowed to ask questions, and we actually work through the problems at the end of Thursday's class session so that anything they get wrong, they can still get credit for by doing corrections on those problems. Some of the things that I usually get asked about, office hours is a big one. I'm available in the mornings from 8 until 8:30. Any morning that a student wants to drop in and ask questions, but they have to make an appointment. So I don't sit on a live class session or a live meets link and just have them drop in. I would sit there and waste a lot of time doing that. So if a student has questions or needs to schedule an individual office hours appointment, they can email me and I will schedule a 10 to 15-minute window to meet with them. They can do that any morning. The only mornings that I do live class sessions where they don't have to make an appointment, they can just drop in and know that I'm going to be there, are the mornings of quizzes. So for our class, every Friday morning, I will be available for them and I will let them know what link they can find me at. And I will be sitting there from 8 to 8:30 for any student that needs to just drop in. They don't need to make a prior appointment. Afternoons from 1:40 until 3 p.m. Mondays is teacher time. So I have the Monday afternoons to meet with my colleagues that are teaching the same course as me so that we can talk about things like quiz results and or whose responsibility is it to make this video or that video, what things need to be taken care of, what things do we need to talk about for our courses. So I'm not available on Monday afternoons. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday afternoons, again, by appointment. Friday afternoons, if I really need to meet on a Friday afternoon, I will. I would imagine most of your sons and daughters probably will not ask for Friday afternoons because, like me, they probably want to get a jump start on their weekends. Grading. So their grades are broken into three sections: classwork, homework, and assessments. Classwork are any notes that they take from the videos. They are required to take notes from the videos. They are required to upload those notes to Google Classroom, and they get credit for that. The practice quizzes, what I call formative quizzes, those are the practice quizzes they'll do on Thursdays that they then get to do corrections on anything that they missed. All of that compiles into 20% of their grade. Their homework are their RSGs. So what we would have thought as traditional homework. We're done with the lesson. Now let's see you, or here's your practice to do without me teaching it to you step by step in a video or teaching it step by step in class. That's 20% of their grade. And then their lesson quizzes or their module quizzes on Fridays, what I call them is their quote unquote real quizzes. Those are the ones that let's see what you know. And so those are every single Friday. Those do not get to have corrections done on them. Those are completely, do you know what you're doing or not? Again, this is something that if you'd like to, you can always pause and then read through a little bit more thoroughly. The last thing I want to point out on Google Classroom is where you can find the class schedule. So if you're ever curious, my son or daughter has a doctor's appointment on Wednesday of next week? What lesson is it that they will be missing in class, or what lesson is it that they are responsible for that day? So you can see a very detailed schedule as we go through the quarter. It's listed out day by day what task of the modules and then what that particular topic is about. You'll notice that every single Thursday is a practice quiz and every single Friday is a quote unquote real quiz. So you can always go through that and look through it. The schedule right now is posted through the end of first quarter because as of right now, that's all we know about schedule wise. We don't know if we'll be back in school physically during second quarter or not. Hopefully we are, but we don't know. So I haven't planned anything beyond the end of October because we don't quite know what that's going to look like at this moment. So I'll tell you the same thing I would tell your kids. If there's any questions that you have that you don't seem clear, feel free to make note of those questions and you can send me an email and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So I want to thank you for watching this video and I look forward to meeting as many of you in person as I can if we're allowed to be back on campus at some point. So thank you.